It's okay. Off your mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí jó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyẹ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyẹ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. So the last day of our days of improvising in order to keep, up to date, filling the gap, the vacuum of, leaving the base to the United States of America. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please take your time. It's actually noon, right? Anyway, tonight, take your time, read the caption of the broadcast. And if you have done that, remember to read the description of the broadcast as well, okay? Then like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today. And if you have done that already, thank you. So kindly let me know if you can hear me loud and clear just before we delve fully into this. So thank you. So brethren, tonight we have a kind of like a series of stories to catch up on. Among them is the sexual assault, harassment, allegation against Akpabiole from Natasha Akpoti. Shit has now sort of hit the fan beyond what they said she did, which was that she rejected being moved to another seat. And they said that Akpabiole has the power to decide where everyone sits within the chamber. However, she said, no, it is more than that. That is just what you get to see in the open. But I have been vilified. I have been bullied. I have been threatened, like phone call threats against her. All because Akpabiole wanted to sleep with her. Akpabiole told her that if she takes care of him, he will take care of her. Even though, according to her, Akpabiole and her husband, they actually knows each other. So the shit is no longer about insubordination as they have charged, as they have charged her. It is now more about sexual harassment. And then, another lady or another woman who is a senator as well, Ireti Kingibe, has also joined the fray by saying Natasha, the way Natasha went about what transpired in the open was wrong. But she hasn't reacted to this sexual harassment allegation. And that's a serious stuff, right? So Natasha said that the House leader, Okoye Bamodele, made a phone call to her in the middle of the night to threaten her that did she know that if Akpabiole should go down or resign, that she will go down too, where she said she flared up. Anyway, that is just a part of our discussion tonight. I think we should start from that. The other one is between the Werey Wike and then Fubara. As at this hour, it seems that Werey Wike has found the final leech to politically strangulate sin. Shit has hit the fan in that part too. As the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that one, Fubara has committed an illegality by spending the 2024 budget without giving the same appropriation to the Werey Wike's faction. And remember, Werey Wike's faction defected from PDP to APC. There's a court affidavit to that effect, which they later withdrawn. And according to the court, they said, well, it doesn't exist, which means they never decamped. So because they have decamped and their seats declared vacant, that is why Fubara continued to operate or transact business with the other guys, other 4 guys or so. So right now, according to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which is the final court, Abi, because Supreme Court cannot appeal itself, except if it is Afebabanlaole, you know, so it can't repeat itself. So what that simply means now is that Fubara, they have failed to operate or transact business with Werey Wike's 27 lawmakers led by Martin Amaewhule. Fubara has committed illegality. And by the Supreme Court ruling, it simply means the 27 lawmakers, loyal to Werey Wike, they have never decamped and they have never lost their seats. They are valid. And therefore, that gives them the legitimacy to possibly begin the impeachment process of Fubara. But we're going to get to that part, okay? We're going to get to that. So, which one should we go for first? I think we should go for Akpabiole and Natasha, all right? Then we're going to get to that Werey Wike's part. Then we're going to go to other parts as well. As you all prepare, I don't know if it's all of you though, prepare for Ramadan tomorrow. Sultan of Sokoto has declared the sighting of moon. So remember the League of Yoruba League of Imams and Afars. They said they were starting, think about it too. Those ones said fasting Ramadan start from the 1st of March. And they are not waiting for the Sultan of Sokoto to tell them when to start fasting. And tomorrow is 1st of March. And the Sultan of Sokoto has announced that everybody should start fasting tomorrow. So we're going to get to that part, okay? So let's start from where the Wahala kicked off. Natasha. And for the first time, by the way, Akpabiole's wife has come out to defend her husband. For the record, Akpabiole's wife says Natasha is just creating content. That Natasha, that they actually knows Natasha's husband before he married Natasha. But Natasha has been a bigger problem. Her husband is a very responsible man. Akpabiole. A responsible man, okay. Anyway, so Natasha was invited to a, a Rise News platform to discuss what's really going on. She was expected to discuss what went on behind the scene, just for context sake, what went on behind the scene, right? But she went deeper, okay? She did. First, she said, Akpabiole, one-on-one, told her that if she play ball, I be say if she's ready to get laid, charged, right? The sky will be her limit. Because Akpabiole is the superintendent officer of the National Assembly. So in a nutshell, Akpabiole wanted to enter Natasha. But the insulting part of it is when she said, Akpabiole said this in the presence of her husband. Her husband was there when they traveled to Uyo. Let us start from that. Natasha, ladies and gentlemen.
In February, I wanted. That's what I'm about to explain that.
Yes.
Yes. So many people do not know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to speak my own truth, and the Senate President is allowed to counter that. It all started on the 8th of December, 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first, we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just 3 of us. We're walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away, and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me, and the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate president, too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate president now said, "Oh, by the way, let me show you my chapel." He has a chapel in his house as well. So when we were going to the chapel, you know, we walked in silence and all. So that evening, before we left the Senate president's house at about 11 midnight to the 4 points in Ikotekpene. And my husband asked me, "Natasha, what did the Senate president whisper to you? What's he telling you?" I thought, should I tell him that he was speaking about bringing me in here at a special time for us to have a good time? Or should I just kill it there, wrap it as if there was nothing? Because tomorrow was a big day. I know how much my husband adores the Senate president. He loves him as a brother. My husband would do anything to support him. So I told my husband, nothing. I can't remember what I created, but I just gave him some words to manage, to mask what was said. When we laid in bed, I lay to my right, and my husband wrapped his arms around me, and he said, "My love, you know you can't tell me anything. What did the Senate president tell you?" Again, I was like, "Don't you believe me?" I said, "Nothing. Nothing. Moreover, it's my birthday in a few minutes. Let's just be happy." Then my husband told me he doesn't want to see me travel out of the country alone, and I should not go to the Senate president's house because he has a guest house where many senators do go there, you know, after office to like get approvals and all that. So I told him, okay, no problems. That was it. I thought that was going to be the end. But then, in February, I wanted to move a motion. I wanted to move a motion for the investigation on the ills of corrupt practice in Ajaokuta Steel Company. I listed that motion 5 times. It was the 6th time that it was listed on the order paper. But that's what I'm about to.
Now they follow the story, you know. So Akpabiole made a lot of advancements or advances to her in which she rejected, but it was in the presence of her husband. That's some huge sort of, allegation if it happened to be not true. I don't see why she's going to make that up. I don't. But it seems right now, she knows that Akpabiole has so much influence, which she has kind of witnessed, to bully her or put her out of sight. You know, primarily, Akpabiole said Natasha wanted to be where the camera is, so that the camera can pick her all the time. So which means to Akpabiole, right? It doesn't want to keep seeing her. And the only way to not see her is to hide her away. Something that she said is coming from a place of Akpabiole making advances at me, that he wanted to shag me, but I rejected his advances and all that. So she's giving us that background. And that's kind of, there must be a rule in the National Assembly that can investigate somebody like that. And if it's found, okay, I think I'm getting carried away, Sha. Because normal, sure you get, if you sexually harass your colleague at work, you are just first. You are not bigger than her. You're just first among equal. But Akpabiole, this is not the first time, this is not the second time that Akpabiole has been accused of sexual harassment by those who worked with him. Just for the record, though. But Natasha said more. So she said, among other things that Akpabiole tried, or how many other ways Akpabiole tried to shut her down, was the time she was pushing a bill to make the Senate, right, investigate the Ajaokuta steel mill. That she submitted it 5 times for it to be listed among the the order of the day in the Senate, because whatever you have to say at the Senate chamber on the floor, you must have submitted it through the clerk, and they must have listed it. So when they call your name, then you can stand up and present whatever you want to present, Abi. But she said Akpabiole continued to block it, because when it gets to the point where to know what are the orders of the day, our submission will not be part of it, in which she continued to live with the words of Akpabiole that if she play nice, if she you get, that it will make her like whatever she wanted in the Senate and all of that stuff. So here is the part where Natasha explained forte, right? It's not even funny. I shouldn't even be laughing. But I'm pretty much more like, okay, let's watch it.
In February, I wanted to move a motion. I wanted to move a motion for the investigation on the ills of corrupt practice in Ajaokuta Steel Company. I listed that motion 5 times. It was the 6th time that it was listed on the order paper that was approved. Many senators can testify to that. Each time the motion is listed, just before he takes it, he will say, oh, Senator Natasha, we can't take this motion because the board of the Senate does not accommodate it. Or he will speak on others and then let it drag so that just before that motion is taken, the time will be well spent. So he kept on doing that. I went to him in his office. And I said, Senate President, you know how important this Ajaokuta Steel Company to me is. You know how important it is to my people and to Nigerians. I've noticed that you have stepped down this motion. As a matter of fact, a number of senators told me, go and see him and plead with him so that he would take it. I was like, sir, please, why can't you take this motion? It's very important. It's been listed. Then it was listed the 3rd time and stepped down. He then said, Natasha, I'm the chief presiding officer of the Senate. You can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy. At that point, I said, sir, I'll pretend that I didn't hear this. He said, well, the ball is in your court. I left his office, and when I got home, I told my husband, I didn't tell my husband what happened. I just told my husband, please, can you speak to the Senate President to allow my motion scale through? I think I also spoke to the DSP, to the leader, Senator Pemi. I spoke to a number of senators that they should please intervene and allow him to laugh. I never told them what happened. My husband had to take a trip to London. Then the Senate President traveled to London. My husband met with the Senate President in London and pleaded with him. Let my wife take this motion on Ajaokuta. That is very important to her.
Okay. All right, Senator Natasha.
He said, okay, that he did not take it because he was protecting me. Hold on, please. He didn't take it because he was protecting me. Protecting me from what? Anyway, at the time the motion was taken, it was the Deputy Senate President, His Excellency Barao, that actually sat. The Senate President stood up and walked out. So it was Senator Barao that actually sexualized me by addressing my attire as being transparent, and that the only thing I know how to do is to wear pancake to the chambers. So when I filed that suit, Senator Ireti Kingibe, hold on, Senator Ireti Kingibe Senator
Natasha,
Akpabio and Senator
we're low on
Ian.
time,
The three women
please.
who sent messages to me that they do not support the litigation.
Okay.
And none of them have called, apart from Senator Ireti, that called my husband to tell me to withdraw that suit and all that.
Okay,
and my
Natasha.
husband charged her that you were the same person who had come to the house to tell him that the ST
Natasha.
was hitting on his wife sexually. So
Okay.
why are you now against my wife standing up for her rights?
Okay,
So
Natasha.
let me tell you something, Mr. which nobody knows. No, Mr. Rufai, please allow me to say this, please.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Can I say this? Please
Yes,
go
please
ahead.
go ahead. Please
Please
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Senator. Please go ahead.
Now, at the nightclub incident, I believe that was not a slip of tongue. That was not a slip of tongue. He has a number of times told me that there are various ways we can have fun. If we travel, he has a way of making the whole the house, the space. He can basically create a party in the space. Do you understand? Like a nightclub in the space and would have fun and all of that. So that nightclub incident statement was not a mistake. It was
Okay.
more like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh.
Okay,
But let me say this. The day before please, Rufai, let me laugh.
Go ahead,
please.
go ahead,
Go ahead,
Natasha.
go ahead, Senator.
Go ahead,
Please
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
Let me speak,
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We're
If you
trying
don't
to
want me to speak, I'll walk out and
No.
complete this on my Facebook, please.
No,
Please go ahead.
Go
we're
ahead,
we're trying
Natasha.
to manage time, Senator, but go ahead and finish it quickly. We're trying to manage time, but please go ahead.
The night, or should I say that morning, early hours of the morning that he apologized, which was 23rd of July, 2024. That was the morning he apologized. So the night I have it printed here, I have the screenshots of the phone call. It was 14 minutes past midnight when my phone rang. The leader of the House called me, Senator Michael Bamidele Okpeyemi called me, and he said, Senator, how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, in the wake of all of this rancor, if the Senate President goes down, I will go down too. And I said, what do you mean, sir? At that point, I woke my husband up because he had fallen asleep before me. I said, are you calling me to threaten me? I could hear murmurs from the Senate President. I could hear the Senate President's voice at the background because I could tell he was on speakerphone. He said, no, I'm just telling you that, there's a whole lot of attack on the Senate President, and if things go down, if he resigns or something happens, I should know that I'm going to be held responsible and I also go down. At that point, I started shouting. I was like, you can't call me at midnight and threaten me, sir. You can't do this. And mind you, I was actually surprised because the leader of the House is someone I respect greatly. He's a very good friend. He's a very calm person. And I believe, I'm saying it, that if he actually made those statements, he probably was told to do so. So I dropped the line. And then I dropped the line. The first conversation was just 2 minutes, 33 seconds. Then my phone rang again at 26 minutes past midnight, that same day. And then it was the same call, Senator Okpeyemi's line, but then it was the Senate President's voice. He said, Princess of the Senate. That's how he calls me casually. I've been attacked. My wife has not slept for days. She's been crying. She's received lots of insults, all because of you. I said, no, sir, it's not because of me. It's because of you. I didn't force you to order that statement. And I did not call on the support I received from Nigerian women. So don't blame it on me. Say, no, he's telling me this because the Dane of Agbo, I think he's a king in Agbo in Delta State. So the Dane of Agbo spoke with him and told him that that's the Senate President, was the most hated politician in Nigeria at that point. Mind you, that was a few days to the protest. There was this end bad governance protest on the 1st of August, and this incident happened like a week before. So he said the Dane of Agbo told him, Mr. Senate President, your rating is all low. You're one of the worst. You're one of the most hated politicians now. So I would advise, he said the Dane of Agbo advised the Senate President to leave Abuja because if he is caught in the middle of the protest, he could be attacked by the Nigerians. I said, so why are you telling me this, sir? He said he's telling me because he found it insulting that the Dane of Agbo would tell him to leave, to run away, to leave Abuja. And that he's telling me So Natasha, I'm telling you, go and tell them that if anybody over the age of 20 approaches me during the protest, I will what was the word? Hold on. I will take that person down. The Senate president told me over the phone that based on the advice that the Dean of Agbo gave him, that he should leave Abuja in the wake of the protest so that he will not be caught and probably will not be approached or attacked by the youth. He said, Natasha, I have the capacity, I'm number 3 citizen. If anybody over the age of 20 dares to confront me, I will take that person down. That person should dare me with his life. I said, at that point, I started shouting. I now told my husband, he didn't know the phone was on speakerphone all the while because I'd woken my husband up from the first speaker. I was like, my love, can you hear what he's telling me? This is exactly what he does. At that point, when he knew, he was like, is your husband there? Oh, yeah. I said, yes, sir, my husband is here. And he heard everything. He then told me to pass the phone to my husband. And you know what he said? Immediately, he changed his tone. He was like, oh, Alema, I have a slot for you for an appointment from Delta State. Why don't you bring a nominee? And I took the phone back. I shouted at the Senate president. I said, you can't pacify us. You can't threaten me on one side and then pacify me. Sir, I'm aware, even though the conversations took place on via WhatsApp, I know that the DSS and the NSA's office, they have the tools to extract these phone calls. And I'm going to publish yes, sir.
Okay, Senator Natasha, thank you.
So and he told me that, well, all you want, hold on, please. He then told me that, all I want is an apology. He would apologize on the floor that morning and that he expects me to accept it. So all that morning, when I walked in, I was already threatened. I was already petrified. This is a man who had already called me at midnight, so I didn't sleep all night. I just had to say to his seamless apology. In February, I wanted...
How many of you believe Natasha? How many of us believe Natasha in the first place? Me, I believe her. I believe her. Because Akpabiole is a criminal. It is not the first time. Do you understand? And even if you haven't heard any of this about Akpabiole before, listening to Natasha, I 100% believe her. But there is a lady she mentioned, and that is Ireti Kingibe. Woman supporting woman, no. But in this case, it's a bit different. According to Natasha, Ireti Kingibe once approached her husband to speak to his wife to drop these charges against Akpabiole. So Ireti herself, right, was on the rise. And I think it was today as well on this matter. So I want you to hear our own view on this before I add my own. Okay, Ireti.
Senator Kingibe, let's get straight into it. I'd like to start at the very top with the mention of your name in that interview, where it was alleged that you called Senator Akpoti's husband on 2 occasions. The first was to report that truly she was experiencing a form of harassment from the Senate president. And then the second was to give a form of instruction to tell her to withdraw the lawsuit that she has made. Can you give us your perspective, your side of the story, of your interaction between yourself and Senator Akpoti and her husband?
Before I answer that question, I would like to start with certain premises. One, I'm just here on behalf of myself and the other 2 women in the Senate. 2, I'm also here as the Senate chairperson for Women Affairs. The other premise is that since there are only 4 women, we've all 4 of us been particularly close. Senator Natasha and I have been also even closer because I take her as my daughter, as I'm old enough to be her mother. and I guide her, since in truth, the Senate is predicated on ranking, and we were there a whole 6 months before her. So I'm able to tell her how things are done. Look at this, go here, check that out. So that, and then the day in question, I was not in the Senate. I was in NMPC hospital. When I came out of the hospital, my driver said to me, "Madam, there's Wahala in the Senate." I said, "What about?" He didn't tell me, he just said Senator Natasha. As soon as I heard her name, as I always do with everything that concerns her, I promptly called her. I said, "Natasha, what's going on?" He said, he started to try to explain about seating. She had not given me the proper explanation. I had not been given the opportunity to respond when she said to me, "I'll call you back, I'll call you back." Till today, Senator Natasha has not called me back. I have a smartphone. Before I called Senator Natasha's husband, I had called Senator Natasha twice without response. Then I called him to say, "I've called her twice, she's not answering me." He said, "Oh, she went to Singapore. Maybe that's why." And then I said to him, this is not the way this should be handled. Now, let's go on to other things. The reason we've heard it said everywhere that the 3 women in the Senate have been silent. Yes, because silence is golden, especially when one of us is not following the rules. And as women, we did not want to come out publicly to say anything negative about her. And we were hoping all of this will blow over, as a lot of things do. Now, the truth of the matter is, yes, the Senate is not gender-friendly, but it has been improving, much better than when we first entered the Senate, I must say. And the truth of the matter is, when we make a fuss and we draw the attention of the Senate President, he does correct it. Truly, the Senate can do better than it's doing, but there's hardly anything that's been done to us that's not done to other men. It is more appropriate to say that the Senate is not opposition-friendly. Now, the Senate leadership may not be gender-friendly, but I must say the majority of the senators, they are very kind and they are conciliatory to us. They look out for the fact that women, some of them have been there before. They guide us on, do it like this, do it that way. And slowly, even I can say, without anybody repudiating that fact, that I am the singular senator that fights the Senate President the most. But I have learned to do it. If it arises on plenary, I deal with it there, especially when it's on issues to do with my constituency. When it's on other issues of privileges, I go and meet him when all the senators are in the dining room, and I fight with him there and get the support of other senators. Senate is a place where the majority takes the day. So then also I want to say something. Us women in the Senate, in fact, to be honest, Senator Natasha has gotten the most privilege of all the 4 of us. The seat I'm sitting in now have been moved 4 times. Senator Ipalibo Banigo has been moved at least twice.
All right. Senator Ireti.
No, please let me finish. I brought myself here. Then you can ask me.
Yes, but you also have a few minutes with
you. To the issue.
So can you just make it brief, because we do have follow-up questions.
It's all right.
All right.
I will make it brief. I wanted to say that this is about the rules of the Senate. So if I can point out that other women have been moved several times. On that day, I wasn't there, but I gather that several men were also moved. And I'm only here as chairperson of Women Affairs. I want women to know we have to follow the rules of the institution we choose to enter. And that is mostly the point of this visit here. Whether there's, sexual harassment between them, they already had personal relationships before they came to the Senate.
All right.
The 3 of us had no relationship with Senator Akpabio before we came.
All right, Senator Kingibe.
So I'm ready for your questions now.
Yes.
And
Senator Ireti Kingibe, to her, It is like the Yorubas saying that "Ejo kinje ejo tara eni kamamoda," which means, right, even if the verdict is not going to be in your favor, if you are wrong, we still have to, even if you are our friend, if you are wrong, we still have to let you know that you are wrong. So if our verdict is not going to be in your favor, all right, it doesn't stop you being our friend, but we still have to tell you. That's the kind of what she stands on. Like, I don't know about the sexual harassment between them. She hasn't spoken to us based on other experience, but you see this particular one, she is not following the rules. So, which means Senator Ireti Kingibe is on the side of what Akpabio considered as insubordination in the open. So by their rules, Natasha is wrong. But to Natasha, no, you guys don't understand. I am being targeted, and I know why I'm being targeted. So the only thing that can work for me is for all of you to listen to me and know that, yes, he's been moving people left, right, and center. But in my own case, it is different. He's doing it on purpose. So there is the conflagration I've been waiting to call. But the rest of what Ireti had to say, by the way, let's go to that.
Enough of a relationship with Senator Akpabio to discuss sexual harassment with Senator Akpabio. When I go to the Senate and my neighbors or Senator Natasha is not there, I collect documents on their behalf. I collected some from Senator Natasha, informed her. She said she was home. I went to her house. I'm answering the question. I got there. She told me, after offering a meal, that she's supposed to discuss something with him, and he said to meet her in some hotel. I said to her, you only meet
Senator Ireti, I'm sorry, I have to be coming at this point. We have limited time with you. Pardon me, I have tried.
You asked me a question.
My colleague asked you a question.
So if you just want a yes or no, I'll tell you no. I did not. I was trying to tell you what transpired. And as we were discussing, her husband came in. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So that I could not have said so. I don't know.
All right. That's noted.
That's all I'm asking. You asked me a question, madam.
My colleague asked you the question. Thank you for getting to it eventually. Now,
I cannot see any of you, so pardon me.
It's okay. We're fine. We're just having a conversation here. You've made it clear the parts that you're aware of and what you're also unaware of. But some statements that you made, you did say that the Senate is not gender friendly, but it's been improving, and what is done to women is also done to men. That doesn't sound like it makes this experience okay. It also sounds a bit, to an extent, like you're minimizing Senator Natasha's experience, since you're saying that what she might have experienced is not something exclusive, but it's something that other people also experience. Now, I'm just wondering, as Nigerians, we most likely did not sign up for the senators to indulge in what is happening or engage in what's happening at the moment. I'm wondering how this public discourse, or discord, I should say, impacts the citizens' confidence in the Senate. Also, as a citizen of Nigeria, I would like to know your answer to that question.
It impacts it very negatively, and that's the only reason I have been sick. From here, I'm going to the hospital. It's the only reason I came. The Senate is not a place where we are supposed to be fighting over trivialities like sitting arrangements. It's a place where we're supposed to fight about issues that affect the people. And that's why this whole thing is a non-issue. If we were fighting, the truth, when I say it's not gender-friendly, we expected, because there were only 4 of us, that we'll get privileges. But we don't get them. We fought to get there, and the fight continues until we can get more women in the Senate. So if we don't get privileges, we don't get them. But it does not mean that we don't get our rights. The 3 of us have not been sexually harassed. That's not to say if Senator Natasha can prove that she has been, that is fine. We will support her. But she's never discussed it with us. We don't know about it. She did not respond to the rest of the female senators. She has not spoken to any of us throughout this whole episode. From change of seat to now. Senator Banigo was with her, tried to talk to her that it can be resolved. She did not listen to her. So I'm coming to say that Women of Nigeria have larger things in front of them. We are trying to pass special bills, 35% inclusion. We cannot be fighting over where we sit. And it really denigrates the institution in a manner that's not beneficial to Nigeria, the people, or the women. That's all I'm here to say.
All right. Well, some people would have said that Rosa Parks shouldn't have fought for her seat in what became a historic movement for the empowerment of not just black people, but women as well. So sometimes it begins with a fight over a seat. Now, don't you think that this whole debacle has now opened us up to bigger conversations? Number one, around the possibility that there may be some sort of harassment, sexual advancement happening behind the scenes. As we are well aware, it happens in several institutions around Nigeria. Are you dismissing that it is absolutely impossible that anything of this nature could be taking place?
No, I'm not saying it's impossible. No, it's not impossible. Remember, the issue was seat assignment. If we've been in the Senate a year and a half, I doubt that it was the day that this happened. Senator Natasha, I go to the other senators, female senators, with an issue, and they tell me, okay, you leave it. You're more confrontational than us. We will handle it. Senator Natasha has never discussed with the rest of us senators, and I speak on behalf of the three of us. We are older than Senator Natasha. We're wiser. We've seen a lot of things. So, and we've taken her, I have taken her as my child. There's no reason for me not to support her. Even over the change of local content, I was going to take it up with the Senate President. She told me she preferred where she was, and then I dropped it. Before that, I was the first person to take Senator Akpabio on about the market. He didn't even realize he had offended us until I tabled it. So the impression that she's all alone, it's not right and it's not correct. Enough of a relationship with Senator.
That's Madam Ireti. I mean, she's not completely wrong, though. Let us be fair here. According to her, the seating arrangements, right, is a problem among other challenges that women had to, like others, that women had to cross to get that, senatorial seats in order to meet the tally of 25%, So she's saying that there are other things to fight for. But on the part of sexual harassment, Natasha hasn't raised it with any of them. That maybe just like all of us right now, just as we are hearing about it, is how she's hearing about it as well from Natasha on the national television. So she, probably, even though her name was mentioned, okay, which she answered, to be honest, she answered where her name was mentioned, where she called her husband and all of that. So to her, she was doing all of that to see if they could calm her down if she was fighting because of seats. But Natasha is not fighting just because of seats anymore. She's saying she could have moved anywhere Akpabiole moved there. If Akpabiole hadn't made those sexual harassment statements towards her. So that's our experience. But Akpabiole's wife, for the first time, has joined the fray. In defense of her husband, of course. Her husband is a very good gentleman. He's a very responsible man, Akpabiole. But there was a time, I think it was around 2020, when Akpabiole was, when he was Minister of the Niger Delta. You remember that lady that said Akpabiole sexually harassed her, that she had to slap Akpabiole. She said it on the national TV. You remember her? Okay. If you don't, here.
Woman, the only Nigerian woman that has slapped his face.
Why did you slap him? Why did you slap him?
He slapped him because of his plan B. He thought that he could, since he couldn't get me to take that money, he thought that plan B, if it could come up on me. He didn't know that I'm a Port Harcourt girl. Port Harcourt girls are not moved by money. by somebody telling me that you make me a substantive MD. The Port Harcourt girls are
Can we clarify this? Because this is, we can't gloss over a slap. What is the plan B? He came up on you. What exactly does that mean?
We were having a meeting. Akpabio's meeting with me is either in Apple or at Meridian or whatever. Those are his meetings. I slapped him.
Well, Joy, are you accusing Senator Akpabio of attempted rape? Is that the point you are making? Or sexual harassment?
Harassment sounds better, not rape.
Okay, so you are accusing him expressly of sexual harassment?
Yes, I am accusing him. The woman, the only Nigerian woman that has slapped his face.
Why did you slap him? Why did you slap him?
She has the medal as one of the Nigerian women that have slapped Akpabiole because of Opwe. Because of Opwe, Akpabiole, Erandi Akpabiole, right, got a slap from a lady. Natasha should have done the same. Woes. Last, na suspension it go be. They no fit beat her. They no fit arrest her. But Akpabiole's wife disagrees that she knows a man and that a man, right, is a man of the people. And those who don't like him, they make up stuffs, they make up stories to kind of like tarnish him. That the man she married, from this time that Akpabiole was a governor, up to the time he became a minister, and now as the number 3 man in Nigeria, that Natasha should not be believed. All right? Akpabiole's wife.
Accusation, I'll rather call it unfortunate, is very demeaning because that is a family. We knew the husband before the husband married her. We've always known the man. They were very good friends, or they are still very good friends. So I really don't understand where this is coming from. And I believe that for somebody to go and make such an allegation, there must be a discussion at home. There must have been a sanction or an approval. Or you're going to say this, go ahead and say it. And if the approval has come from the husband, our friend, I believe that he would have spoken to me because we are close. And then if the wife had complained about such a thing, and he still comes, and he's normal, there is no man you will tell, oh, that the wife will tell, oh, your friend harassed me. I know how you men behave, that will not frown. First of all, the attitude towards the person will change. But this attitude never changed. And if you're talking about the house, we don't have any house in Ikorebene. Ikorebene is a local government. We are from a Senudim local government. Our country home is in a Senudim, in Okana. And I didn't hear anything about Okana. We have a beautiful home in Okana. If you're talking about Uyo, house in Uyo, I'm always there. I own a school. I'm always in my school. And when I finish at the school, I go home. So the home you are talking about, I'm always there. The Senate president is a very, very responsible man and disciplined. As a governor, the number of women we had then in government, I don't think any government has had that number of women. So in Akwa Ibom, when he was a governor, a lot of women were involved in governance. And none of them Not one ever said something like this. In the past, we've allowed people to get away with a lot of things. And he will always tell me, if you can't stand the heat, leave the kitchen. I'm here to serve my people. They will throw mud at me. I said, but this mud is becoming too much. Why can't you do something? So I'm now the one going for a legal address. Entertaining people whenever he's around. So if the man was walking behind and the conversation was taking place in his presence, he could have heard. Even the body gesticulation could have shown the man that there was something wrong. Security men are always with the SP. So for that night, I knew I served people. People were at home. The house is never empty when he's around, because constituents will be there, Akpabio people will be there, and they never leave him. Whether the house in the village in Okana or the house in Uyo. And there's no way a man that is artistic.
That's Akpabiole's wife, giving us scenarios, the description of their house, and how much Natasha should not be believed. She said she's so close to her husband that her husband would have told her. That's how close they are. That this that Natasha is saying about her husband is total makeup, like she made it up. So right now, things have gone beyond where it all started, just for the record. So, and this is the first time I'm seeing Akpabiole's wife come out to speak and defend her husband. So there must be other stuff going on behind the scene. Somehow, that Akpabiole, as much as he's publicly presenting himself as untouchable, he's a playboy with, as a rubber stamp to Tifnumbu Kolu. So everything, people can say whatever they want to say about him. It's never going to change anything, kind of, right? But I have never seen Akpabiole's wife come out to speak. It was Akpabiole that told us that people were threatening his wife during the End Bad Governance protest. Remember, when Akpabiole said people can go and continue to protest, but they will continue to party. Remember that time? Anyway, let's leave Akpabiole. And let us... sorry. Let's leave Akpabiole and let us now go to Rivers State. Listen, if you are still watching, right, remember, like the broadcast, okay? Like it, share this. And if you are planning to join us on the meet and greet with Mayegun's Diary Politicals friends, Mayegun and friends, so you can still come around though, from 5 p.m. Houston time. I'm sorry to those of us who wish they could be there, but somehow, because of the timing, don't beat yourself, all right? There will be more time. There are all of us who have like a get, So let's go to Rivers State. If you have been following the political development in Rivers State, as I have, now this is going to be pretty much like a premeditated end, since Werey Wike knows how to use the judiciary to his advantage. Don't forget that part. And when I say premeditated end, simply means Fubara probably stood no long chance. So he's been putting up a good fight so far. But how far can that fight now go? We don't know. How like how more chaos is on the way in Rivers State right now, I can project. Do you get that now? I can project I can probably be definitive, right? So here is what happened. Like a flashback. So, Werey Wike bought funds for all the political office holders, those who wanted to run for office in Rivers State in 2023, from the governor to State House of Assembly to House of Reps and Senate. He bought the funds and gave it to all of them. He was building his own political, what do you call that thing again? Political platform. No, not platform. Oh, you don't get structure. Political structure. Which simply means when he's out of office, he will still have access to the resources of Rivers State, which can be partly used in funding the future political elections. So, because of this, he ensured that, excuse me, those who want to be assemblies, they have their, you know, their rules handed to them. Those who were to go to National Assembly, what they will do, they were handed to them. So when they finally did the 2023 abracadabra and Fubara became governor, others became assembly, they said that Werey Wike was demanding for 30% of all revenue accrued to Rivers State, from all revenues, internally generated, allocation, including loans, to ensure that these are honored, these are respected. Werey Wike appointed 80% of those political appointees in Rivers State in Fubara's government, so that to ensure that they are all aware where the money is coming in, when it's coming in, and where the money is going to. Just like Werey Wike's third term. I know they talk like Werey Wike. Just like term. You know? Anyway, so it was like 3 months after when the Supreme Court judgment ruled that Fubara and Co. is clear to be, what do you call it? To be governor. Nothing can remove him again as governor. Few months after that, so just few weeks after that, Nasu Kasala burst. Now, the kind Kasala that burst, was that Fubara felt like even God will create us now 10% in the collect. How can one person, one man, be demanding for 30%? So religiously is not right. Morally is not right. But they both have history. Okay? When Fubara was the accountant general for Rivers State, Werey Wike was governor, Werey Wike looted over 2 trillion naira, 2 trillion naira as the governor of Rivers State. 1.4 trillion naira from that money was traced to his failed presidential ambition. Fubara was declared wanted by the EFCC because of the money Werey Wike looted from Rivers State. So they had that history together. So how Fubara, now that the Fubara will be the one whose name will now be, you know, on the document of any money to be looted. So some said that maybe Fubara just found God. He met God and decided that even when God will created yourself, now 10% in the collect, you know, they collect 30. So I can't pay you 30, okay, anymore. So Werey Wike activated the plan B. The plan B was that if the Supreme Court can't remove him as governor, so State House of Assembly will remove him. That was how 27 members became loyal to Werey Wike. They were all supposed to be loyal to Werey Wike, including Fubara, and those ones who are loyal to him now. But somehow, they decided that they were going to stay with the guy with the purse. And the person who is holding the purse right now, Fubara, no be Werey Wike. So somehow, 27 House of Assembly guys, they camped to APC. When they discovered that that was a mistake, we shouldn't have decamped like that. Sorry. They went back to court and said, what happened is, listen to this. They went to court and said they have decamped to APC, that the court should stop Fubara and those who are loyal to him in that House of Assembly, that the court should stop them from declaring their seats vacant because they decamped to APC. That was the standing. Baba, that affidavit disappeared in court. The affidavit that these guys want to, that the court should stop Fubara and any courts in Nigeria from removing them or declaring their seats vacant. They went to court and they withdrew the document, and the document disappeared in court. So they now went on to the appeal court. At the appeal court, now here is how they put the case. Let me explain that to you again to understand. Since Fubara declared their seat vacant, so it's no longer dealing with them. Okay? So they now went to court. That court should order the central bank and the Ministry of Finance to stop giving local government allocations to the River State anymore. So when they went to this court, it was, let's even kind of make it a two-way explanation, okay? This is no longer just about using the state assembly now. It's also turned to the part of the local government chairman. So to make you understand this better, right, let me reverse it a bit. So the moment Fubara stopped giving them money and Plan B got activated, these guys that decamped, right, they also kind of like extended the tenure of the local government chairmen who are also loyal to Werey Wike. So because to the Fubaras, their actions have become illegal, so nobody is listening to them. So Fubara went on to go and conduct a local government election, which his own guys won on another platform, apart from PDP. So when these guys now went to court, they told court that court should not pay River State money to Fubara again, because Fubara has been spending the River State's money unappropriated, which means he's been spending it on his own. He's not been dealing with them, and they were the legal ones. They are the legal House of Assembly. That's what they went to court to say. And the court ruled that, yes, they should stop the River State money. Ruling that they should stop the River State money. That was appeal court. Fubara and his guys decided to go to Supreme Court. Now, at the Supreme Court, listen to this. The Supreme Court now declared now that what the appeal court said, that Fubara has been spending the River State money illegally. The fact that he didn't give the budget to this Werey Wike's men, going ahead to spend the 2024 budget is illegal. And until Fubara deal with Werey Wike's men as the authentic House of Assembly members, every action of Fubara concerning the governance, appropriation, the governance of River State have been like illegal. Now, in that ruling, what that simply means is Supreme Court ruling has said the Werey Wike's guys, they are authentic House of Assembly members. There's no other court after Supreme Court, don't get me wrong. So what that then means is this. To Werey Wike's men, Fubara has broken the law. And if the Supreme Court says they are legal, right, they are legit, they have a reason now to start the process of removing Fubara. Do you get that? Because right now, the Supreme Court has ruled that the local government chairmen loyal to Fubara, they are illegal now. Their local government allocation must not be paid to them anymore. The Supreme Court ruling did not say that Werey Wike's men should be returned as local government chairmen. No, don't get me wrong. But it says that election was wrong. So the Werey Wike side are now interpreting it as they have already extended the office or the tenure of the local government chairman loyal to Werey Wike. So you see this fake democracy under this 11th Republic, I mean a 5th Republic, I mean a 4th Republic. The level at which this whole thing will collapse, we will have to thank the judiciary for it. They are doing a perfect job, collapsing, knocking everybody else together, from Osun to Bauchi to Rivers. So everybody is giving their own interpretation the way they see it. But immediately the news broke, Werey Wike and his team reacted, of course, expectedly, right? Let me go and bring their reaction. I'm gonna. So first, they took to the streets to dance about that, right?
We there where we there. We there where we there. We there where we there. Better go, better go. We there where we there. We get there now. We there where we there. We there where we there. Better go, better go. They go. No weekend, no sim. Go punish monkey. No weekend, no election. Now what for you? Elephant, go your way. Elephant, tomorrow we can chop. No weekend, no sim. Nonsense. My doctor don't come out because of him. That's stupid man. We get there, oh, we there, where we go. Let them go, let them go. Nonsense. Now we. No election. Agree. I tell you, you don't agree. See, I'm your face. We there where we there. We can tell you we there where we there. Let them go. We can tell you we there where we there. We there where we there. We there where we there. Let them go. No, we can. We there where we there. We there where we there.
We there where we there. And even with Werey Wike himself, right? The way he received the news and his reaction, all of that is also captured here. Watch.
Thank you, Lord. We give you all the glory. We give you honor. We give you all the glory. We give you honor. We give you all the glory. We give you honor. We give you all the glory. We give you honor. Give and praise, blessings and glory. Without thanksgiving, honor, power and might be unto our Lord. battle with the Lord? Who can battle with the Lord? Who can battle with the Lord? I say nobody. We say nobody. We say nobody. We say nobody. We say nobody. Father, we thank you, mighty God. We bless you. Father, we thank you for your faithfulness. We thank you for your message. We thank you for the confirmation of your word, Lord, because say that those who trust in you will never be put to shame. Father, you know that your son, yes, we and his family, his friends and associates have always trusted in you. You have proved yourself right. Father, we say thank you in the name of Jesus. Lord, we dedicate this victory to you because without you, we don't have anything. Lord, as we dedicate to you, we know that your blessings make it richer and no sorrow. Father, no sorrow will be associated with this victory in the name of Jesus. Even as we continue to move and Father, your presence will go with us. Father, again, as friends and associates of your son, yes, who is our leader, we now say, Lord, that I'm committing it to your hands. You have been his God. You have been his keeper. You have been his protector. Lord, we ask that you continue to direct him. You continue to protect him and his family. Guide him in the morning, noon, and night at all times. Let your presence abide with him. Let your angels lead him in good and coming. No weapon fashioned against him, his family, is encouraged to prosper. Thank you, Father, for
of our greedy leaders. Oh, Thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike, so that you eliminate all of them, so that you have peace in our nation. We'll join them in one aeroplane, so that it will crash land in the course of their adjournment.
Thunder, where are you? You know, God is merciful. God is merciful. Put it that way. When you look at Nigerian politicians singing the praises and song, praises and song, what do they call them? Then you're just going to be like, ah, man, God is so merciful, man. Like he's supposed to just enter, just slap. He say, wait, he say, oh, you're mocking God. You are singing, this is our glory. Oh, no. This is our glory. Oh, no. Werey. So when the wicked reacted, his own reaction is to remind all of you praising Fubara, that what is coming right now for Fubara is more than what any of you probably ever envisaged. So with the wicked, yeah, Fubara has committed impeachable offense. There is no coming back from this. And that makes the coming days more interesting, by the way. Yeah, you're going to have more interesting coming days, you know. According to Werey Wike, his own reaction, partly,
Yes.
You refuse to follow the Electoral Act in terms of conducting local government election. What was the issue? INEC don't deliver that result if you don't comply. Will you condemn another? You said no. You will not obey. And as if we are clapping. People like Atiku, we are hailing him. That yes, you've done well. I hope they will also hail him today. I hope the chairman of the government, PDP government forum, will also hail him today. Because if you don't, if Supreme Court has come back to say, enough is enough. We must not truncate our democracy. If you have allowed this, one day, one member will constitute an assembly. And that's all you can do. One member. You can imagine 10 people. One Senate speaker. So two people are allowed once. I mean, it's unheard of. So it has nothing to do with everything. We must commend the judiciary for being bold, for being fair, to say no, this should not be allowed. This impunity must not be allowed. I've told people that Rivers State is not like any other state. We are not prisoners of war. We are not conquered. We must challenge anything we know That's illegal. We will not allow it. It's not, you can do that in Indian state. But as far as Rivers is concerned, we will not allow it. It doesn't matter what time it takes us. Yes. Look at how they, since their salaries, allowances, family is now. Because they are carrying out their function. So for us, not just happy, we're happy that the right thing has been done.
So it's already like a ground for the removal of Fubara. However, Ikenga of Imo, one of the outspoken PDP guys against Werey Wike's shenanigans, as well as the power tussle between Fubara and then Werey Wike. So this Supreme Court ruling to Ikenga is something about democracy. You know, they love that word. Democracy is being put in danger. Democracy gone by there, everything is scattered for democracy. Don't let anybody continue to deceive you about democracy, this, democracy, that. These are undemocratic elements, unpatriotic laws. So if democracy is in danger, democracy go finish, go scatter, you know. You're not going to miss it. Don't let anybody see. This is what you say. They have their DSS tracking you from whatever you say. Right now, you get tracked down, you get dumped in one dungeon somewhere without courts. They even have courts to help them lock you up forever illegally. So what is the difference between them and the military or any other one? Democracy is still the best you can. If not for them, Echo Shidano, you and your democracy. Is this democracy? Anyway, Ikenga is saying something about democracy is in danger, something, Shaba, in his words.
The wheel of governance will continue to run in Rivers State, and Governor Fubara, the executive governor of Rivers State, will continue to drive that wheel of governance in Rivers State. These cases originated even before these people cross-carpeted on where the budget should be presented, which led them to the issue of getting a judgment that said allocation of the state should be freezed in enforcement of that particular judgment. This issue and development today has not decided the ongoing and pending matter on the legitimacy or legality of that illegal decamment by those SAC pro-Wike lawmakers, which is currently, as I speak now, ongoing at the Court of Appeal. Because there's one issue that have not been resolved. That these people left the People's Democratic Party to the Action or Progressive Congress APC with the belief that they will get support to illegally impeach the government. But when that did not work, they kept on running from one court to another. So all they are trying to do is to find the legitimacy to claim that they are lawmakers. That's why they keep running from one place to another. So that is why that matter have not been decided. It was not even decided by the Supreme Court. That matter is the Court of Appeal. So, yes, Supreme Court has delivered a judgment today. We will study it and understand how they arrive at those conclusions and what were the declaration. But one thing I want to say is that the opposition coalition is categorically saying and clearly saying that wheel of governance will continue to run. Because their intention is to block governance, to create anarchy, to create commotion and confusion in Rivers State. But governance will continue to run and will continue to fight and battle over this matter until the Supreme Court decides on the legitimacy of that cross-carpeting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress APC. When that is decided, then we'll now know the next line of action. There is nothing these pro-Wike people can do that will dampen the morale of Governor Fubara, that will dampen the morale of the opposition coalition. There is nothing. We are fighting for constitutionalism. We are fighting in defense of democracy. You think you go and starve people of Rivers State their statutory allocation, which is a federation share that is constitutional, so that there will be crisis, hospitals will have no drugs, people will be dying on the street. That will not happen. That will not happen. Governor Fubara is a political tactician and a Democrat to the core, and I can tell you that the wheel of governance will continue to run. We will surprise them. will continue to run effectively and efficiently. And that issue, that our belief and our conviction that there are no lawmakers, that there are no longer lawmakers, succeed and will continue to run until such a time that appeal court case that is ongoing now decides whether they did the right thing by expropriating or not. Because it was that issue, that legitimacy battle, that led to the issue of what is left of that House of Assembly presided. It was a fate that they foisted on us by not allowing the by-election to hold. And that is why we're still at the appeal court. And until such a time we finish in the appeal court and go to the Supreme Court, that is when this matter, one can say that this matter has been conclusively laid to rest. These are not the issues that were decided today. They can go to the public and say whatever they like, but all I can tell them is that the will of governance will continue to run. There is nothing these pro-Wike people can do that will dampen the morale of Governor Fubara, that will dampen the morale of the opposition coalition. There is nothing. We are fighting for constitutionalism. We are fighting in defense of democracy. You think you go and starve people of River State their statutory allocation, which is a federation share that is constitutional, so that there will be crisis, hospitals will have no drugs, people will be dying on the street. That will not happen. That will not happen. Governor Fubara is a political tactician and a Democrat to the core, and I can tell you that the wheel of governance will continue to run.
Ojejare Ikenga, you get out, die. In my mind, right? I'm like, now this guy go finish Fubara. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing, but I don't know. I just feel like another guy go. If you are listening to that guy, we are just going to wake up one morning, and this were the weakest guys, with the help of the same courts, that go now say they don't impeach Fubara, and before you know it, they don't arrest Fubara. Everybody when they talk say, if they try this, if they this nonsense, you no go see any of them. There are many cases in courts concerning these people. But at the same time, let nobody sort of lie to you what the end goal is going to be. They've already crossed that Rubicon of saying, let us reconcile. No. As it is right now, listening to Ikenga and talking about the court, talking about law, talking about this, that in itself reeks of hypocrisy or lies or maybe ignorance. It can't be ignorant. No, it's not an ignorant person. What is at play here is that if you wake up tomorrow morning, tomorrow, Sunday, Saturday, wake up Saturday morning, and then they will tell you that they don't come off Fubara. Everybody really talk, say, leave her alone, day your day. Everybody could just disappear. Now, Nigeria, and it seems that things are things are tilting towards that side. I don't trust your judiciary. Don't get me wrong. I mean, speaking from experience, And yeah, I mean, everywhere scatter. If everywhere won't scatter, I mean, everywhere scatter. That too. So another person in another studio on this same matter of this Supreme Court judgment. Because right now, the Supreme Court says they should not give River State allocation, local government allocation, state allocation. They said that the Supreme Court says CBN must not give them money. Ministry of Finance must not give them money until Werey Wike's men can confirm that they are now dealing with Fubara, or he's dealing with them now. And if he failed to do that, that means he's committing illegality. Don't forget that, too. Because that's the fight going on. It's not just local government money anymore, including the state allocation. And River State is considered as the state that contributes about 60%, I mean, 40% of about 50% of your crude oil in Nigeria, the one they are extracting right now. So they are coming from River State. So if they wake up tomorrow and say they've impeached Fubara, no, because they go tell them to go. They'll tell him to go to court. Go to court. and another person will be sworn in. But here is what this guy has to say. He said, Fubara is ready for reconciliation if they can all come together. I don't understand. But please listen.
I have enormous respect for you.
There's no doubt about that. But listen, check all my interviews. I have never completely or outrightly abused anybody. No.
No, you forgot. There was one, not on this channel. There was one, not on this channel. Okay, let me remind you. There was one, not on this channel, but on AIT.
Yeah.
I was speaking.
Oh, you and I. You and I.
Yeah. I was writing to
I just said, and I'm saying it again. I just said that.
Okay, that's why I said a regenerated uncle.
Yes.
You know, I didn't say that.
No.
This is my regenerated
I'm not
uncle.
changing who I am.
Okay.
No, I'm not. And I will never. Chidi, what you don't know about me, I'm a human rights defender for 2 big countries. I won't talk about that. Okay, I won't talk about that. So there are certain things I said that I must stand for. Number one, there's something that you don't know. I'm going to say it for the first time on TV. You see, Nyesom Wike was the Minister for Education that signed the first policy that I did. And it's the first policy in the whole world. I don't have anything against him. There are times I also criticize Fubara. By the way, for the interest of conflict of interest.
No,
let me now. Let me land now.
Let me land now.
Let me land.
I do not like him to be dragged in.
No. Hold on. I'm praising him for what he did.
Okay.
You understand? And I've not changed that position.
I will allow.
I've not changed that position. You understand? The way I was raised, I don't go out of my way to abuse people. It's not going to happen. I don't care who. All right? Go down in history. I cannot say to anybody I've benefited anything from Fubara. I am from Opobo. For the sake of conflict of interest. We're from the same place.
You are Governor Fubara.
Yes, we are from the same place. Have I met him before? Yes. I met him and told him clearly my position. And the fact that in this matter, I will remain objective. However, Chidi, my brother, truly, maybe you're here today. Let's work together to ensure that the state does not burn. Yes. That's all I'm saying.
Let's
work together.
That's why we chose to take the issues to court.
Fantastic.
And not resort to self-help.
Fantastic. My brother, tone down the rhetorics. It's not necessary. We would destroy and burn the state. Tone down the rhetorics. I was completely dissatisfied with what the speaker said. I'm completely you can't call out somebody that kind of name, and that's a sitting governor. That's disrespectful. You understand?
No, that's within the chambers of the House of
No, it doesn't matter where.
It
doesn't matter where, Chidi. Come on, you have treated me with enormous respect on this program, and I will. You are somebody that I have always liked. You understand? And I express myself even when I didn't even know which camp you are. You understand?
But you know he's the weakest man.
Somehow, yes, eventually, you understand? So I'm not here. I'm not a chameleon.
No.
Never. I will not come here and change overnight. But as an elder statesman, my job is to make sure that there is peace. What was my opening statement? My opening statement is that Fubara must obey the rule, the law. He has no business, and I don't think he's like that. I think many people don't know Fubara. Many people don't know Fubara. Forget about all the things that happen. If you ask that guy tomorrow to throw in the towel, he will. That's the kind of person he is. Many people don't know him. You understand? I had a 1 hour, 10 minutes meeting with him, and I left respecting him. I'll tell you what. Number one, I told him, because I don't run around politicians. My friend, you want me to come and see you? Yes, sir. Give me time. He said 11 o'clock. I told him, I said, if I come there by 11 and you are not, I will go. He said, he calls me brother. He said, come. 11:45, Fubara received me. By 11:05, we were talking. I left at about 12. You understand? You remember on this show, I had made effort to say, if Wike will see me, I will see him.
But you have always canvassed support for Fubara in the sense that you had always thought that whatever Nyesom Wike is doing politically in Rivers State was wrong and was harmful to
I will tell you my reason. I will tell you my reason. If Wike were in the position of Fubara, I would do the same thing. Jake Epele, I would do the same thing. My reason is this is our sitting governor. Let him govern. Allow him. He's your boy. He makes mistake. You know, there's no way we will destroy the governance structure of the state. There's no way. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't matter who.
So you're of the opinion that whatever went on between Minister Wike and Governor Fubara has some implication on the...
No. So the man said he believes that Fubara will throw in the towel. You know, if somebody will, Baba, which towel, go. Because as it is right now, I feel like say the stake don't high. Where the Wike may go up to 50-50, 50%. You know? Because he has gotten to a stage where he can have it for himself. Yeah, I don't think Fubara has any leg to stand on anymore, per se. I don't think. And for Werey Wike, this is not an end in itself. It's just a mean to an end. Because even Werey Wike is a political survivor. If this contraption lasts till 2027, though, Werey Wike's political survivor also depends on who is in charge of Rivers State too. And if it becomes so dispensable, I'll be saying not dispensable, I'll be disposable. You know, where is replaceable. Baba. So you can understand the context at where this is actually headed. If you can put 1 + 1 together now, you will understand where this is headed. It's not going to end well. No, it's not going to end well. I saw Werey Wike and I think it's Ugwayi. Is it Ugwayi? Which one be that one from Abia Ekweazu? They seem to look alike to me sometimes, right? In their further reaction to the court judgment, Supreme Court judgments.
I never know you honor me this way. I never know you will honor me this way. You honor me this way. Thank you. Hallelujah. You will honor me this way. I never know you will honor me this way. Oh. I never know you will honor me this way. You honor me this way. Thank you. As old as you are, as old as you are, you will never change. I never know.
God is merciful. Very, very merciful. He's very kind. So people will believe in God, though. You know what I mean? It's merciful. And on the streets, they had a song for Fubara too. You know, they agree, you know, they agree. You better take a sink and give me wicked. You better take a sink and give me wicked. You better take a SIM card and give you Wike. Those are Fubara's people. I'm sorry, we're the Wike's people, rather. Anyway, that's from Rivers State. So we can also leave them now and go try something else. in Lagos State, where Obasa resurfaced. The resurfaced Obasa has caused so much ruckus in the house of, in the empire of Kolu, the house of the Tifnumbus, where things are done according to the dictates of their leaders or their leader. When Obasa got removed, it was like so, it happened so fast. Then we realized that Obasa was not in the country. And isn't it that Obasa called a coup? They planned a coup to remove me. So things seem to be going on well, especially for the new speaker, Meranda. When the highest ranking body of their APC, Egbekegbe in Lagos, called GAC, gave their validation and support. And they told them that Obasa was gone and was gone for good until Obasa returned. Now, so problem returned. So yesterday, you saw when Obasa took over the status of assembly, right? So they were in court to determine who is the speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly now. So at the end of the day, pending the determination of the court, it is reported that Obasa has taken over the assembly. And he couldn't have done that without the backing of Tifnumbu. That's what some people are saying. Obasa still has control of his security as speaker. He broke into his speaker's office, which is supposed to be the Miranda's office now, yesterday. Then he locked his other colleagues out. Initially, when Obasa was removed, right, Lagos State House of Assembly has 40 members. So out of the 40, 38 of them rejected or removed Obasa and elected or selected Meranda. But yesterday, that changed as Obasa presided over the State House of Assembly, where other members were locked out, and yet he still had about 4 other members. So which means 4 out of 38 that rejected him, 4 of them have returned, and Obasa is now in charge of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Right. So this is what we mean about when institutions have been compromised. Institutions of states are now populated by criminals. So you have no choice. Whatever they do, everybody just have to be killed on the line. So today they were in court, where Meranda called the actions of Obasa show of shame. That's what she called it, show of shame. Look at them in court today. Me, Abi? Yes, no. Are you fine? Okay.
Ẹni tó ń yọ wá lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Ẹni tó ń yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Ẹni bá yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Ṣé democracy? Ṣé democracy léyìí o? Aṣíwájú rẹ̀ kò. Ṣé democracy lèyí? Àwọn tó yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu o. Àwọn tó yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu o. Múdásírù yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu o. Àwọn tó yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu o. Yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu bàbá, yọ yọ yín lẹ́nu àwọn tó yọ yín lẹ́nu bàbá yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Àwọn tó yọ ẹ́ lẹ́nu bàbá yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu àwọn tó yọ ẹ́ lẹ́nu bàbá yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu yọ ẹ́ lẹ́nu bàbá yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu àwọn tó yọ ẹ́ lẹ́nu bàbá yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu.
Good morning, Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Please, would you like to respond? What's your reaction to today's hearing in court?
Well, good morning. This is actually just the beginning, and just like what happened in there, both parties actually have their representative, and I think we should allow the legal team to do their job.
Please, ma'am, can you respond to what happened yesterday?
What happened yesterday?
Yes, when the speaker was said to have forcibly taken over.
Sorry?
When the impeached speaker was said to have
the removed speaker.
Okay.
Well, I think he's still a member of the House of Assembly, so he has every right to come. But invasion and breaking into my office, that is really a big one.
Do you also confirm the restoration of your security detail?
Well, as you can see, I have my people here with me, and God is with me.
Can you be specific, ma'am, about the status of your security detail that your office represents?
Well, I have, I think, 3 or 4 policemen, whereas my normal convoy, my team, 12 policemen, 4 DSS, and 2 anti-bomb. But as I have it this morning, I don't have that.
I understand you, Matt, to be saying that to be condemning, that the House is condemning the forceful invasion by the removed speaker. But Ma, is the House going to take any proceedings, disciplinary? What can you tell us? What's the next thing?
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
Mr. Obasa yesterday in the sitting with about 3 or 4 lawmakers also said the House has been postponed sine die. What is your reaction to that, ma'am?
I think to me that was just a show of shame, because in our job we have numbers that form quorum. So if you are sitting with 3 or 4 members, you're only doing theater.
So when is the House sitting next?
We'll announce it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Today? Is the House sitting today?
We'll let you know, okay, but the House is not sitting today. Thank you.
Wahala everywhere, wahala. You know? Number one, they never tell you. They never tell you that they have left you behind. Photo, don't be juju be that. She used to have 6 policemen, 4 DSS. But right now she only has just about 4 policemen. She didn't have a real convoy as speaker. While Obasa has like army of policemen guiding him and all of that. And the same Obasa has now adjourned the status of assembly sitting, sideline, Odigbushi, until further notice. So like they never tell her. Like yesterday, when all of them were locked out of the status of assembly, right? They themselves felt like there must be some bigger forces, higher forces behind Obasa. So where are we going to turn now? Who are we going to call that? Because we don't even understand again. Oh. So that's the drama from Lagos. But let's leave Lagos too and go somewhere else. Let's go to the office of the Sultan of Sokoto. Just a few days ago, the Yoruba League of Imams and Alfas, they said they've had enough. Especially this talk about Sharia, political Sharia in Yoruba land. They've had enough. They do not want to take any orders from the Sultan of Sokoto anymore. That also kind of triggered conversation around why is the Sultan of Sokoto the leader of Muslims in Nigeria? Why? In Yoruba land, for example, Islam has been in Yoruba land before it even got to them in their Kokopiri, Sokoto, and whatever. Before Madam Fodio of Fulani brought their jihad. So it makes sense. So people have been like that. So it's like some people are now rebelling. Is that rebelling? Is that right? Is that a correct word? Rebelling or rebellious? So in the League of Imams, the Yoruba land chapter, they were no longer listening to the Sultan of Sokoto. To them, when it comes to Ramadan, they will decide when the Ramadan will start, not the Sultan of Sokoto. There are extremists in some part of Yoruba land, by the way, okay, where some of them believe that nobody should challenge the authority of the Sultan of Sokoto. Last, Isha. Kombila say, even Allah is in support of both of them. Because the League of Imam in Yoruba land said their own Ramadan will start on the 1st of March. And normally the Ramadan is, the month of fasting by the Muslims. But it is after the spotting of the moon, when you sight the moon. They say, we have seen the moon. Oh. I can't see the moon though, right? But it's noon here, right? So you have seen the moon, and we're going to start fasting the day after that. So today, the Sultan of Sokoto also saw the moon in Nigeria, and he has now declared that tomorrow on call, Ramadan will start. Let somebody interpret.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu ala nabiyyil karim. Today, Friday, 20th day of February 2025, equivalent to 29th day of Shaban, 1446, after the hijrah of our most noble leader. We got to the end of the month of Shaban. Reports of positive sighting of the new crescent of Ramadan were reported to us by various leaders across the country. And we have verified and authenticated such reports and duly accepted such reports. Therefore, tomorrow, 1st March 2025, makes its first Ramadan 1446 after Hijrah. Call on all Muslims across this great country to devote the month of Ramadan in full worship of Almighty Allah and prayers for our country, for our leaders at all levels. As we call on all our brothers and sisters to commence fasting this holy month of Ramadan, we all need to always be aware of the responsibilities on your shoulders as Muslims, to always pray for our leaders, pray for our states, pray for our country. We urge you to always give out to the vulnerable amongst us so that they also enjoy the Ramadan fast. Showing the effects of such giving out to the less privileged will also add the words of Almighty Allah on you, on your fast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadat in this holy month of Ramadan and grant us alternate to those without hisab. May Almighty Allah give our leaders the strength to lead our country aright with the fear of Almighty Allah always, with the heart and mind of salvaging the problems facing our great country and pushing the hardship facing not only the Muslims but all.
Masalam. Be Salam. So Ramadan starts tomorrow. So those of you who can fast, you can sponsor those who are fasting. You can send gifts. You can send food. You can send money to people who are going to be participating in the Ramadan. Okay? So that would be your own huge contribution, okay, in supporting if you can't fast. Because me, I can't fast. I remember when I used to say it to my mom, right? I used to say it to my mom. My mom was like, hey, you cannot fast. Are those ones who are fasting, are they not your mates? And I remember telling my mom then that, no, I'm a child of God. Number one, I'm not a sinner because nobody can tell me that I'm a sinner. I'm a child of God, so I don't have any sin. So you get now. So because I don't have any sin, I do not need to fast. And I was very young. I used to say that to my mom. And she'll be like, well, God will touch your heart. God will change you. I say, okay, let him try. Because why is he going to change me? I'm all right, I'm okay, like I'm all right. And if he's the one that creates all of us, right? So I believe I am made perfect. So now only sinners, now them they fast. I used to say that to my mom. But that is not true, okay? So fasting is religious, is spiritual, is healthy for those who chooses to. But in this case, Ramadan is the Islamic month of fasting, okay? So you can reach out to people and support them however you want, okay? And Tinubu just signed the 2025 budget into appropriation into law. So right now, Tinubu's 2025 budget is 52 trillion and 200 billion. Sorry, 900 billion. I think it's 52.9 billion, trillion rather. So that is what Tinubu planned to spend in 2025. And he was seen to be at a small ceremony they put together for him. Let me show you.
Having pledged 500,000 tons of gold to the Bank of England. And in his words, he said, achievements. He said, I have been speaking to Nigerians who are my friends and business people. And finally, he said, and with your kind permission, Your Excellency, I would like to invite the President of the Senate for his introductory session. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is about signing the budget into law. And hooray, he has signed the budget 2025 into law. Thank you, Your Excellency.
So that's a call signing the 2025 budget. Then he had this to say. It's boring, right? But we'll just listen to him because I'm almost rounding up now anyway, right? So Tinubu had this to say.
2025 budget of transformation, empowering people. Please have your seats. Building a resilient future. We affirm our commitment to securing our future, rebuilding prosperity, and ensuring that every Nigerian shares in the dividends of governance. The past year tested our resolve, but through the economic discipline and strategic reforms, we achieved what many deemed impossible. There are no dust in our faces, and there are no tears in our cheeks. We work together as brothers and sisters, collaborate with Nigerians. After the initial turbulence, and the takeoff was very, very cloudy and uncertain. Today, we see a light at the end of the tunnel. We can see signs of progress. Our national GDP growth rebounded to 3.86%. Compared to the last quarter, revenue increased to 21.6 trillion. Naira rebounded, reflecting our resilience. We have reduced deficit significantly from 6.2 in 2003 to 4.17%. Forest reform is working the foreign exchange. The minimum wage was raised and we are meeting all obligations. I want to thank the National Assembly. Thank every one of them. Whether they participated in the review or not, we are building the same country. But particularly the leadership, who has seen the collaboration between democracy of this government and that executive, legislative arms, making a difference, determined to move our country forward.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt.
I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
So that was Kolu, the man that is bringing economic discipline, prosperity, Mr. Prosperity. Prosperity, kind of. So that's a Kolu. Jobbing all of you who are actually like listening to him. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Anyway, my time is very up. And I am supposed to be getting ready to go and attend my meet and greet. So yeah, I'm going to check the address again. Oh, one sec. So if you are in the Houston area, you can join us at Tortoise Lounge and Bar. So I know some people have already indicated interest of showing up, which is great. So we are looking forward to see maybe 5 or 10 people max. Once we start crossing 10 to 20 to 30 or more, we are going to turn it into a party near. Sure you get. So, but let me share this with you. It is the trip, Amaewhule Showere's trip to the Federal High Court today, where he went to argue that his travel passports should be returned back to him. And then, as usual, he had a few other things to add, all right? So let me share that with us before we go tonight. Here.
Revolution, revolution, revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution.
The whole country has come to realization that the IG is illegal. Every other illegal senior officer in the police has been forced to resign. We have one more to go. Inspector General of Police. For your information, the governors in Nigeria are the reason why the value of the naira is always in the toilet. Because whenever they collect their monthly allocation, they go and change it to dollars immediately. They are only involved in selling and buying of forex. What Yaya Bello stole is more than 500 billion. You can quote many where Dodo did not win any election in Kogi State. We want to tell Nigerians that the only way we can defeat these people is to multiply our numbers. Yes. Today again we came to court basically to apply for my passport, which was taken by court a few weeks ago when we declared the Inspector General of Police illegal. Yes. When we started that process, they thought it was a joke. But now the whole country has come to realization that the IG is illegal. Every other illegal senior officer in the police has been forced to resign. We have one more to go. The Inspector General of Police. The illegal Inspector General of Police. Expired. But we also have a pressing issue right now, which is the abduction of our brother, Austin Usman by the Stephen governor of Kogi State, Ododo, the armed robber there. What is very sad about this, I must say, is the role that the DSS continues to play in violating the rights of Nigerians. They went to his house, abducted him, they almost killed him. Traumatized his family, his wife, and then took him to the state FCT command and detained him for 2 days, and took him again to Kogi State, where they went and handed him over to his enemies. What was his crime? That Austin Okai said that the governor diverted 13 billion naira. Who doesn't know that the governor of Kogi is a thief? Nobody doesn't know that. Even the DSS people have the information that he's a thief. The Nigerian police has information that he's a thief. Yes. The National Assembly has information that he's a thief. They don't want us to prove. They don't want us to prove that he's a thief. They want to harass us so that Austin will not be able to talk or speak up, or other Nigerians who are against the profligate life of these governors. For your information, the governors in Nigeria are the reason why the value of the naira is always in the toilet. Because whenever they collect their monthly allocation, they go and change it to dollars immediately. They are only involved in selling and buying of forex. I'm talking about Nigerian governors. So they are the ones that should be going to prison every week for the amount of money they stole. Well, if you think about it, when Yaya Bello was there, we were calling him a thief, and they said he was not a thief. Is he now facing trial for stealing 80 billion? Out of the 80 billion that he's been charged, what Yaya Bello stole is more than 500 billion. They just decided to charge him for the least amount. And Yaya Bello is back inside the Aso Rock Villa. I saw him with his senior brother yesterday, where they're having their APC. You know, that one is their mentor. He's the mentor of all the thieves, all the political thieves in Nigeria. So he has come back to the villa, and he's handpicked illegal governor. Because Ododo you can quote many where Ododo did not win any election in Kogi State. Yes. They put Ododo in power against the will of the people of Kogi State, so that they can continue the looting of Kogi State. The sad part is that these are some of the people that, when you hear that you want the young people to be in power, this is a person who was young, or reportedly a young person. Look at what he did to Kogi State. And they are now continuing the tradition. But again, I'm warning the DSS. DSS people, I hope you are here. You tell your boss that we are sending a warning that we will no longer tolerate the illegality that they have been carrying on against Nigerians. They have been abducting people on behalf of politicians. Yes. And if they don't stop, Nigerians will rise up against the DSS. Yes. Just the same way we rose up during NSAS. Yes. If the DSS don't condone themselves very well and continue or start respecting human rights, they will be treated the same way the police was treated during NSAS. Yes. Nigerians will mobilize and fight against the DSS. Yeah. This is the last one, and we urge them immediately to release.
That's shown He has become something else in their hands. I don't think there's anything they can do to him anymore. Sure you get. So yeah, what's the worst they can do? They will take him and lock him up somewhere, torture him or something. Is that what they've not done? They've done all of that to him. You know? So that's a Shure. Shure. In Irua, Esan local government. I'm gonna go check the name. There's a place called Irua in Edo State, right? Irua, Esan West local government area in Edo State. Yesterday, the agent of death was looking around. Fair enough, he didn't strike. And what happened? Some people were risking their lives, scooping fuel from a crashed tanker. So it could have been a different story today, honestly. But somebody caught that on camera. So I said, I'm going to share that with us. From Esan West local government area of Edo State, where Governor Okweodoyo is their governor, the governor of Edo State. This one, so this is how much they value their lives. Tiny value. Put it that way.
Slow down. Where they rush, they go. Hey!
Oya, everybody, Oya.
See, wait! See, Mona exit this place. Mona, come out! Mona exit, Mona, come on. Leave there! Hey, I'm at BJ. Who is that? See. Sunday, so where can that get that way now? We lost everyone. Muna stop, Muna see the do, Muna come out. If the people are labor, Muna leave her. Where are they go? Driver, when I drive, I won't say nobody will know. I swear. Hey, back is one. Little to above one. I beg you.
Somebody said that Irua is in Asian Central. Asian Central in Asian Central local government area or Asian Central local government. So fair enough, there was no fire incident or casualty or anything at all, right? But that is something that you need to keep awareness sort of like up, you know, so common everywhere. It's like the moment, you know, a fuel-laden truck somehow loses tracks loses his track or crashes, immediately the next thing that comes to people's mind is on how to actually like go there and scoop. Every other danger doesn't really, I don't understand. Like people will feel like they are smart, Abby, like I'm smart. I mean, it's not going to affect me. You know, it's the bad one, right? So thank you so much for your time, okay? So I am going to call it a night. And for the last time, let me put, I don't know if I even get that right. Anyway, for the last time, if you are in the Houston area, of course, you can come down to the Tortoise Lounge and Bar. So I am going to be there in the next few minutes. So we are going to be around, you know, kind of like have some drinks, chats, maybe exchange numbers, take some pictures. I don't know how to do it. I've never done anything called meet and greet before, right? But I'm getting myself ready. Agbeka is going to be there. The children are going to be there as well. And yeah, I mean, and I shall see you there, okay? So the address is in the comment. Let me put it up again. If you are within Houston area, okay? So I have this member who said they already booked their trip to Dallas, and that you would want me to say hello to the children and all that. Okay, maybe we can try that this evening, sir, if you are watching this, okay? And Lady Tina, I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well, okay? So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Let me go freshen up and put on my agbada. I want to wear agbada today. Agbada. So I'm going to see you at Tortoise Lounge and Bar. So those of you who are coming around, okay? To others, thanks so much for your time. After this, it's likely going to be us meeting again in Glasgow. So our holiday has come to a close now. We've had fun, we've had the great stuff, but I will tell you more about it when I get back to Glasgow, all right? Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn làjù lórí YouTube àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù jíjó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bí gómìnà kówó jẹ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá àní ẹ̀sùn làjù aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùn làjù òkúra olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀sùn làjù ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o ayé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.